God's not dead, he's surely alive.
So what you're saying is I can eat a baby to start this.
No.
We kid. My name is Brandon, and this is Dante, and we're doing a review of the trailer for God Is Not Dead, the movie, which actually I'm kind of interested to see. It should be a good laugh.
Yes, I think it'd be funny just to see it, and it'd be even funnier if there was some sort of fundamentalist Christian in there, as we MST3K through the entire thing.
You know, it's a very, my brain just went, what, when I saw the movie trailer, and then I got the humor in it a little bit because I'm not scared to laugh at myself. God Doesn't Exist is a better premise for the movie. It's great. God is Dead implies God was real at one time. God was never real. He doesn't exist. Now, we're open to evidence to the contrary of this.
Yes.
You know, if you have actual evidence, not some feeling, some actual evidence, we're open to that.
Yeah.
And if you can prove God exists, great, share it.
Yeah.
Don't give me anything like God sent Jesus, his only son, to come down and, you know, die for my sins. No, I need some actual proof, and then I'm open to it.
As am I. If you can actually provide me proof of God exists, it has to be repeatable via the
scientific method.
Yes, you have to prove God by the scientific method, not by some old antique book that says God exists.
You know, though, part of the problem is that, and we just discussed this too, there's some very interesting things in the Bible, but if you're going to go with seeing is believing, now, when I was in college, you know, we all do dumb things in college, but this one actually comes from one of my friends in college. He got high one time, he was just smoking a lot of weed, I guess, and he started running through a cornfield, and he said it felt like hands grabbing him, so we're just going with the, we have proof because we felt a concept, corn has hands. You know.
Yeah. Seeing is not evidence. Evidence is something that that is actually proven by the scientific method. There's actually a set of rules by which this is done.
Part of that is you don't presuppose an end to the point and try to find evidence for that. You actually, you know, is this table flammable? Well, there's a number of studies that say it probably is. Now, we could prove it is if I was to say, you know, light it on fire. Now, I'm not going to, I don't care if it's flammable, but, you know, I can do the same thing with this envelope. I don't know how hard I'd have to work at setting it on fire. You know, there's some work we could do there. I might have to, you know, hack it up or pour some gasoline.
There's no firm assurance that this table will be set on fire if you try to set it on fire, but I'm pretty sure it will be set on fire. You know, so there is no actual verified proof yet, but reasonably this is wood and wood burns. In the movie God Is Not Dead, the professor is really just almost an angry deist, maybe even a Christian. He seems more upset at God than the acknowledgement that God is not existing, you know. Right. He says that God is dead. That means he believes that God had existed at one point in time at least.
Yeah, and that's not really an atheist viewpoint. So one of the disappointments is they're already misrepresenting atheism right in the trailer, really badly a few times.
Yeah.
Not only does he ask the class to write God is dead on their paper, he gives that little soliloquy about a 12-year-old watching his mother die from cancer and how if God was real. So he's mad at God. He's not really in the atheist camp of I don't believe. He's really in the camp of I believe and this happened and I'm angry.
Yes. I mean, just because you say you're an atheist does not mean you're an atheist. You may think you're an atheist and not be an atheist.
Now, atheism, the definition we're using is kind of an important one. For me, I start with the base premise of nothingness. Now, if you can prove God, like I said, I'm fine with that. I'll listen. But the definition for us, as far as we're concerned, is God simply doesn't exist.
It doesn't. I don't believe he exists. Again, you need proof.
Now, I also think this movie does one more thing to misrepresent atheists, and it shows that all the atheists in the movie is very unhappy and cynical. There's the chick at the beginning with the band who's like, oh, hey, you guys have to go out there and sing like God is actually real. But she's not smiling. She's very cynical as she says this.
And why would a Christian band hire be hired by an atheist? Or somebody who doesn't believe in God?
But more than that, that's not the only cynic in the movie. As we know, the professor's a huge cynic who gains a God complex himself. He is the God of that classroom. What? I've never said I am the God of of my job, I'm not. I'm really good at my job, I'll tell you that. Maybe that's a little big-headed, but I don't say I'm the God of my job.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty much claiming that God is dead, he existed, I hate him, now I'm God.
Mm-hmm. And then at the beginning of the trailer, they kind of cold start with this image of a man talking to this old woman about how have you gotten to this point without God? Or something or other. It's like,
yeah,
what?
You prayed your whole life, and look at you now? I mean, what's that? That's really cold, actually. I would never do that to anybody. I might try to enlighten you right now, let you know, there's some other schools of thought out there. If you mock me, I mock you back. You can ask a few people on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy talking to this old lady, again, he's very cynical, very down, trying to portray atheists, really negative. Just total misrepresentation.
What was the deal with his girlfriend in the video?
Yeah, his girlfriend looked like she was half jealous because they were sleeping together, and it didn't involve her, and really mad because he's going to school and it takes a little extra time. I mean, I don't know what everybody else expects out of school. School takes a lot of time. Any given class of mine could, just 4 to 6 classes a semester doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're doing something like philosophy, it can be 2,500 pages of reading in a 2 or 3 day period, especially if you got more than one class.
Did you go to philosophy at all, or?
I actually did a philosophy once. So it's a lot of reading. And then if you want to start doing things like they're doing in this movie, where you're trying to refute premises and stuff, you have to do all this extra reading usually. You're trying to look for people in the past that might have things that will give you ideas or help support what you're saying. It can take a very long time to do. So yeah, it can critique your social life a little bit to go to college. I know we all have this image of drunk frat people in college.
That's not college necessarily. And,
there are frat people in college, and some of them do drink once in a while. When I was in college, I drank once in a while. I don't drink anymore. I quit that when I was in college.
Yeah.
The thing with college, and this film firmly misrepresents it, is like, oh, hey, we're just trying to kill off your Christianity. Well, when I was in college, there wasn't actually a lot of Christianity going around the college. They actively didn't discuss Christianity a lot, and if it was usually because somebody brought it up. And a lot of times then they didn't want to talk about it anyway because it didn't have as much bearing on the conversation as someone in a Christian vein might like.
Right. Another thing is, it seemed more like a parody of a fundamentalist would put out. It just seems like a fundamentalist version of a parody. I mean, I've seen a lot of apologists state that that's what their college was like.
I've heard it out of fundies too. I'm going to call them fundies because, they make me laugh. So they're fun. They're fundies. I was actually a fundamentalist Christian at one time. That's a different story I probably won't ever go over. Not publicly and not right now at any rate. So anyway, fundies will tell you this is how college goes. They're just going to try to take God out of everything and on and on and on about how college is bad and professors are stupid. But you get in there and you listen to what the professors have to say, you start thinking, opens your brain up a little bit. You know, if you want to be open to some real dialogue, if you really want to know how to debate this stuff, I actually recommend you go to college. Take some of those classes. If you're really that smart and you really don't like atheists, if you really want to prove Christianity, go in and learn those arguments. Go in and learn biology. Go in and learn abiogenesis. Go in and learn evolution. Go and learn the theory of the Big Bang. There's a lot of science there, a lot of math.
Yeah, and don't be afraid if your college professor says, I don't know.
I don't know is a great answer, actually. Many a great question are answered because somebody says, I don't know. One of my favorite questions in college is if I didn't know something and I thought a professor would know, I might catch him before or after class if it didn't pertain to class. I had a great experience in college. My professors were always open to talk with us. So, you know, there is that. I strongly suggest that anybody looking at this remember that this is just a really bad parody of what every fundie is scared of for college. And
I don't think any actual atheists were actually involved in this movie.
I would be surprised if any atheist was involved in this movie. Maybe somewhere up at a studio level. I don't think any of them were involved in the writing or acting. Like I said before, we know Kevin Sorbo's a Christian. He's very open about it. And I'm actually disappointed he, rather than trying to learn how an atheist really thinks, went more for a deist perspective that just hates God.
Yeah. No kidding. And I think that's about all we have for now.
Yeah, we're hoping when the movie comes out we get to see it and maybe do a full review then.
Yeah, we might be just laughing in the theaters when it comes out.
I might have to see it twice to review it.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 times.
And it'd be funny if there was some form of fundamentalist in the room when we did it.
Yeah, that would be funny. So we were talking about the best time to go watch it because we know when the theaters are dead. So.
Yeah, we're probably going to watch it when there's very few people in the theaters, if any.
God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living.